Hello everybody, my name is Trey. I am a Human Resources Consultant of Company XYZ. Today I am presenting the policy for using electronic media for employees of Wells Fargo Bank. The table of content of my presentation has two factors, overview and recommendations. In the overview factors, I will present four parts, including executive summary, background, problem, and discussion of findings. First, I will present the executive summary of Wells Fargo Bank. Wells Fargo Bank is having many problems for using electronic media for its employees. Therefore, it creates some negative impacts included decrease of security level, labor productivity, customer service, etc. Wells Fargo Bank has given company XYZ a mandate to conduct this study to develop policy for using electronic media for its employees and find out the solution. According to many interviews with 50 employees and the surveys of 400 business administration and computer science students, company XYZ has identified two key factors that will be instrumental to its development. First, Wells Fargo Bank does not have any guidelines for the use of the electronic system to access its website and other social media channels. Therefore, its employees often use its computer, network, and internet access for personal use. Furthermore, Wells Fargo Bank does not make its employees understand that respect, honest, and accurate are necessary to access its website and social media channels. Second, Wells Fargo Bank does not have any guidelines or explanation for its employees for using electronic media to ensure data security clearly. Therefore, most of the employees have a poor knowledge about it, and they do not know how to solve the problem in case of contingency. Next, I will present the background of Wells Fargo Bank. Wells Fargo Bank is one of the banks that can take confidence of the most customers. Nevertheless, if Wells Fargo wants to be the best bank in the United States, service, prestige, and security will be important factors. And employees is the key factor to obtain the goal of it. Nowadays, while websites and social medias have revolutionized business, using electronic medias are totally familiar with employees. However, Wells Fargo does not have any guidelines and explanation for appropriate use of Wells Fargo electronic system, as well as websites and social medias to ensure data security. Therefore, Wells Fargo needs to come up with rules for its employees. Based on many interviews, the surveys and results come from magazines, books, and online resources. My firm and I examined to find out the result of this report. Now let's talk about the problems Wells Fargo has. As you know, Wells Fargo has many problems with using electronic media for communication. After research, my firm and I find out the answers of the question that is stated below. What are the restrictions of the guidelines for appropriate use of Wells Fargo's electronic system? What do employees of Wells Fargo need to know when they access its website or other social media channels? What are the restrictions of guideline explanation for using electronic media for its employees to ensure data security? How can Wells Fargo need to improve to develop policy for using electronic media for its employees? Moving on, let's talk about the discussion of findings about the problem with using electronic media for communication. First, I will talk about the restriction of the guidelines for for appropriate use of Wells Fargo electronic system to access its website as well as other social media channels. Based on Internet, emails, and computer use policy by Texas Workforce Commission, policy for using electronic medias for employees of Wells Fargo Bank are still many shortcomings that cause many problems for it. First is using electronic system of company for personal use. Sometimes during work, employees use Fargo's network to listen to music, play games, watch movies, and even go online shopping. They think that sometimes using company electronic system does not affect working. Nevertheless, they do not know that their thinking can risk of harm to security or labor productivity. For that reason, Wells Fargo needs to have the clear guidelines as well as punishment for using its electronic system for personal use. Second, using personal devices to access Wells Fargo applications and data. As you can see, nowadays some companies allow their employees to use personal devices such as smartphones, tablets, laptops, and other electronic devices for work purposes. However, those companies need to have the guidelines for using the personal device clearly. Although personal devices can help employees be more comfortable and handy to access corporates and application and data, they can create the negative effects for the company. For that reason, my firm and I think that Wells Fargo should not allow employees to use their own devices for work purposes. Wells Fargo does not allow the use of any kind of smartphone, digital camera, recording device, etc. in the workplace to ensure that employees do not record the image of another personal information of another person, such as a coworker or customer, or make any unauthorized copy of confidential company business records or proprietary information. Third is using the libelous or harassing word to send message for other people or post online. New technology can change workplace communication and collaboration, but employers who do not control their speech can pay a heavy price. For that reason, Wells Fargo needs to let its employees know that they are solely responsible for what they post online. If the action can adversely affect their job performance, members, customers, and their employees, they will be subject to disciplinary action up to including dismissal. Now let's talk about the restriction of the guidelines, explanation for using electronic medias to ensure data security. According to the Gallup poll, percent of having credit information stolen by hackers as well as percent of having computers, smartphones, information stolen by hackers are more than a percent of getting mugged. For that reason, the potential security concerns raised by employees in a situation with work-related passwords are very important. Wells Fargo should make its employees understand that the potential security concerns raised by employees with work-related passwords are very important. Employees' passwords must be at least 16 characters and compressed with combination of symbol, number, uppercase letter, and lowercase letter. Moreover, employees should not use familiar passwords and their password must change every 3 months. On the other hand, frequency of updating privacy policy is an important factor for ensuring data security. Earlier, we talked about the password accountability. Now let's talk about the rights for monitoring or intercepting. Wells Fargo reserves the right to monitor electronic mail messages such as email, instant messaging, texting, internet usage and computer equipment used to create, view, or access emails and internet content. In addition, Wells Fargo also has the right to inspect any and all file stores in private areas of the network or on individuals' computers or storage medias in order to ensure compliance with its policy. Most of the people who are in small companies never update their policy. They think that it is unnecessary to do that. On the other hand, Wells Fargo is not a small company. It has 1,000 transactions per day. Furthermore, it stores many personal information, proprietary information, and confidential company business. Therefore, updating privacy policy every year is necessary. According to these conclusions, my firm and I recommend that Wells Fargo has clearly guidelines for appropriate use of Wells Fargo electronic system to access its website and ensure data security, to develop policy using electronic medias for communication. Employees are not allowed to use Wells Fargo's electronic system for personal use or use personal devices to access Wells Fargo's application and data. In addition, employees should be reminded they are not authorized to release confidential information or trade secret when using social media. Moreover, employees should understand that they are solely responsible for what they post online. Frequency of updating password and privacy policy are necessary for each employee. Wells Fargo has right to monitor and inspect its employees' electronic mail message as well as their devices.